prior, prior to the extension date. Our procedures are to meet as a cabinet now. I have been since I've taken this over as a regular routine. Is that all right to know requests are reviewed weekly with the cabinet level so that any cabinet member, who I stated previously has multiple folks reporting to them, can respond and assist with directing who may have information in regards to any particular right to know request. As many, we get many right to know requests, and that one person definitely does not know everything that is going on within the agency. Right to know office is a supplemental job to my regular routine of financial information.
What did you do between July 15 and July 21 to follow up with any of the principals, athletic directors?
Sir, I was on vacation at that period of time. I was on vacation. That is why Dr. Bovard was sending out emails as an administrator to assist Mrs. Schuler. The district has not named an assistant right-to-know officer.
Were you on vacation July 21?
I believe that was probably the first day I was back, if that was in London. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have a calendar in front of me.
When you got back on July 21, what did you do regarding this right-to-know request?
We went through, Mrs. Schuler came into my...
What did you do?
I had Mrs. Schuler come into my office so that we could review what had transpired during the time that I was on vacation. Again, at that time, we sent out information again to the booster clubs that Ms. Pinto and Dr. Bovard had provided to Mrs. Schuler, stating that we had received a right-to-know request, and we had copied the information that we had received from the Office of Open Records regarding third-party notification. So Mrs. Schuler and I reviewed that. That information was sent out. Mrs. Schuler included the copy at my direction to me and to our solicitor.
That all you did that day?
To the best of my, I'm sure I did other things that day, but in regards to this, that's the only thing that I did in regards to this at that time. The following Tuesday, that was Monday, the following Tuesday, I would have reviewed this open office.
Which was on July 21.
Okay. I don't have my calendar in front of me, sir, so other than this, I do know we reviewed this.
That was your first day back, July 21.
Again, if that is a Monday, that is my first day back. Without having a calendar, I'm not quite sure.
While I get out my trusty smartphone to see what day of the week, July 21. That was a Monday.
This month, so it would have been my first, but yes, that would have been my first day back to work that day.
The only thing we did that day was review the email that had been sent out to the booster clubs.
And the file. Mrs. Schuler would have presented me with the file. I would have gone through the file to see if anything had come in. And at that time, we had no additional information from any of the booster clubs or from any of the principals.
And on July 21, did you see any email that was sent to the principals?
I would have to go through the file and look, sir, off the top of my head. I would have to go through the file and look. There may have been emails, but without looking at the file, I can't.
You don't recall seeing an email on July 21?
To the principals,
Not sent on July 21, but you on July 21. Do not recall seeing an email to the principals dated July 15.
the July 15th, I would have known, yes, I would have seen that email, because that was part of the July 21st response. So we would have, again, we would have reviewed the whole file If that July 15th email, which Mrs. Schuler presented as evidence today, was in that file, I would have seen it. So to answer your question, yes, I would have, on July 21st, I would have seen the email that was sent on July 15th by Mrs. Pinto after I had spoken with Mrs. Schuler and directed her to please see Dr. Brevard to follow up on making sure principals knew and also that to get a list of our booster clubs.
All right, what did you do on July 21 regarding that email that sent to the principals on the 15th?
I reviewed that information to see if it was what I would have sent, and it was a request that had I been there, I would have sent the same request.
And what efforts did you make to find out what responses were received regarding that email?
I reviewed the files. I did not, I reviewed the files, that was my effort. The principals were requested to send information. The information was not in the files. So to the best of my knowledge, they did not either not have the information or did not comply with the request.
This was the file supplied to you by Ms. Schuler.
That's correct.
Did you reach out to any of the principals?
On July 21st? On July 21st, no.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
To clarify, Ms. Johnson, the records I am seeking are for fiscal year end 2013. And you stated the policy does not have a adoption date with an exception for when a policy were to go into effect. And you stated also that the district is in possession of year-end records of 2012. Is that not correct?
My understanding is that there may be some records prior to 2013, fiscal year ending 2013.
But it is your testimony the district is not in any way in any possession of records of 2013?
That is my understanding. I have not received anything. No one has responded or provided me with any information, even though we have made various attempts and reached out and asked them to provide that information to us. As late as September the 5th, Mr. Babb and Mrs. DeBona both have responded, they were in my office, that they do not have any records for fiscal year ending 2013.
Ms. DeBona is the current high school principal, correct?
That is correct.
When did she assume that position?
July 1st,
Of?
2014.
Was she present in the building in the same fiscal year in 2013?
No, she was not.
What records would she be in the possession of to verify against that the district did not have them?
She would be in possession of the records that were retained in the office by her predecessor.
As the right to know officer for Henry Schools for the agency, do you have authority to review electronic messages?
I would.
Knowing that Dr. Creedon was the principal at the time for year end of 2013, and that he was no longer in the building when this request was received, was there something that prohibited you from checking his electronic messages?
We did not check his electronic messages, as we did not see that that was part of the right to know request at that time. We were looking for specific documents, financials, and we were not looking for emails.
Would those emails have contained attachments?
I
Objection calls
can't
for speculation.
answer that.
Did you-
Overruled.
Did you check?
Wait,
I did not check his emails.
But he was the principal at the time of fiscal year end, not the principal you just asked on September 5th.
That is correct.
so the school district received reports from booster clubs prior to fiscal year 2013, but for some reason didn't receive any fiscal year ending 2013. That's your testimony.
That is my understanding, that I was, there was a directive from the high school principal in prior years that information would be collected. At no time was it a policy, nor was I aware that it was a requirement until this policy was passed in 2013, that we would begin to collect that information. While I was aware this policy was in effect, I also had that conversation that the assumption was that because it was passed so late in the school year, that it would not become effective until the following school year.
I understand that, but it seems to me that if reports were regularly submitted prior to fiscal year 2013, reports will continue to be submitted.
They did not request them, well, from my understanding.
Okay.
You stated for the record that Dr. Brevard is a cabinet member, correct?
Yes.
Who's the current superintendent of Penn School District?
Dr. Jacqueline Radigan.
Your Honor, I would like to submit into evidence.
Wait, where's unreal? What was unreal? You have an A?
Yeah, I'm skipping over the.
How about the changes to page 8?
That's fine, if you want. Okay, that would be fine.
Okay. You have a question?
Yes, I have provided Objection
Wait.
I object to this document being used in this proceeding. It is hearsay. It is stated outside the time frame in question. It will not establish what the district has in its possession. And it is from Mrs. Herring's email account. I'm reiterating my objection to the previous document. This is not appropriate evidence. It is hearsay.
Your Honor, this was provided to me firsthand from the sender and originator from 2013. Pages 2 and 3 stipulate the timing. Page 1 is just a resubmit of what was already previously sent to agency contacts in 2013. I submit this evidence is critical, as the assertion is that the district is not in possession of the financial records of any or all booster or support groups.
The date of this email is February 21st, 2014.
Have you
It
looked
will not
at page 2
be-
and 3?
Wait, let it finish. Go ahead.
It will not establish what the district has in its possession currently. There's no way, without having someone come forward saying this document is still in possession, that something that may or may not have occurred on February 21st, because this is a hearsay document, is probative to your determination about what they have in their possession as of today or June of this year.
I'll overrule your objection. You can present testimony about that video. So go ahead, you can ask a question about this. Page 8.
Ms. Johnson, attached to H8, pages 2 and 3, are email exhibits the former principal received. In 2013, the fiscal year end 2013 records attached to Exhibit H8 are approximately 30 pages of attachments that were sent in 4 PDFs as reference. They were then resupplied to the new superintendent and to the assistant superintendent. Again, for a second time. So they did not just go through the building and
Objection.
through the high school, they were also sent to the administrative office. Were you
Objection.
made aware of that?
Objection. This is testimony from someone who has no personal knowledge over a document over which I've already objected.
Well, we don't
Asking
know
for
that.
her to speculate about what may or may not have occurred, these were not sent to her.
Well, we don't know that yet, Ms. Young. She hasn't testified about this.
And I'm objecting to her testifying about it.
What'd you say?
And I am objecting to the question.
Objection's over. The question is, did you come across this email, Ms. Jack, in your review of the request for the director number?
No, I have never seen this email, and no one has ever provided me a copy of this email and/or any of the attachments that they may have downloaded and put into their files.
Do you have any reason to believe that this email from Karen Kern to Steve Bavard is not business record of the Penn Ridge School District?
As I have not looked at the entire, at the 30 pages at this point, I can't testify whether it is or is not a record. I would need to have time to review all the information that came with it.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I will for the record once again, this document was not printed from the district's computer system. It was printed by Mrs. Perry.
I can understand.
This document was not printed from the district's computer system. It is clear on its face it was printed from Mrs. Perry's computer. It is not a record of the district. It cannot be considered one because it was presented by Mrs. Perry.
I don't know the word object. It appears to be a business record from Karen Kern to Mr. Bavard and the Penn Ridge School District.
There is nothing in the record to indicate this document is within the district's possession aside from this proceeding in Harrisburg.
I understand you can make that argument.
From looking at this, it appears to be information that Dr. Rivard and Dr. Radigan received. However, we would certainly need to check with them if they actually did receive it and printed it or opened it in any fashion, and they would have been aware that they had the information, as I don't see a response from them indicating that they had received and or opened this email.
Does this document, AJ, indicate to you that a review of the email system may have disclosed information relative to this request?
It does appear that a review of emails could possibly provide information. However, information was not requested to be sent any particular way, so that I would believe that.
You didn't feel it was appropriate to review
Right.
email requests?
No, I was not thinking that those records were coming via email. I thought they were being handed in a written document format.
Okay.
And again, the policy says collected. It does not say collected in what manner or so.
Okay.
Ms. Johnson, you stated, please correct me if I'm wrong, that as of September 5th, 2014, Mr. Babb states he is not in possession of any fiscal year in 2013 records, correct?
September 5th, I believe, is the correct date. I would need to look at mine. Yes, September 5th, I met with Ms. DeBona and Mr. Babb in my office.
For the record, Your Honor, I'm going to reiterate my objections to this type of evidence. It is email that was printed by Mrs. Marion, and I would object to it for the reasons I set forth with regard to the other documents.
Overruled. Next question.
Yes, please. Reference documents, submission exhibit H9. Do you see Mr. Babb's Enbridge.org email address listed on this?
Yes. Yes.
Is that the same Mr. Babb that told you he was not in financial in possession of any financial records from any booster group from year-end 2013?
That is correct.
Would you please look at page 2 and page 3
What's page 3?
of the exhibit,
Of which is it?
H9?
I don't think I can read this, I'm sorry. It's
I don't have
I
page
understand this,
It's,
I don't have page 3.
I can't read this, I'm sorry.
Oh.
you can't read this at all,
No.
okay?
I can second that decision.
I agree.
Because I know which side is right side up.
These are the financial records that were supplied as the attachment. Yeah, this email,
Objections to the characterization of the issues for us.
it says on attached, please find the Cheer Booster financial report from the June 2012 through May 2013 season. Does it not say that on the body of the email here?
On the body of the
Johnson.
email, that's what it says on the body of the email.
Was that email addressed to Mr. Babb?
Yes, it was.
Is that email dated May 20th of 2013?
Yes, it is.
Ms. Johnson, who is Joan Cullen? She has any relationship to the school district?
I believe Mrs. Cullen is a parent.
Oh. Not an employee of the school district?
No.
Ms. Harry, what are you going to do with
Page 10, I would like to submit
Excuse me,
attachments
I'm
to
still reading the
separate.
document.
Pardon me?
Go ahead, Ms. Harry.
agree. I would like to submit H10.
I said, excuse me a moment, I'm still reading.
What did you say?
I'm still reading it, Your Honor.
Oh.
Please, may I have a moment?
We have trouble understanding you for some reason, Michelle. Maybe you have to get closer to the mic. Mr. Narver can't hear you, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I really didn't get the document, I'm going to object to it as hearsay, and for all the reasons I've already put into the record, this one is not even addressed to anyone in the district. It also is not probative of what the district may or may not have. It appears to be chatter among a variety of people who are not district employees.
Your Honor, in regards to it
Well,
being
well, first-
probative,
This
I have
hearing,
additional.
this hearing has not yet indicated what the purpose of this document is. I was asking her that when you asked for time to read it. I gave you time to read it, and I'd like to know what the purpose of the document is for.
I'd like to establish that Mark Lang was the coach, Booster Club president for the water polo and men's lacrosse booster groups during the fiscal year in 2013. In addition to that, the reason I bring that email in, it is him who then contacted me and supplied me a link that is readily available with Enbridge's name on it that shows their booster club minutes and their financials. And I would like to introduce that as Exhibit H11. Married to H10, but I did not want to make it all inclusive so that no one had an opportunity to realize there were two separate submissions.
Now, Ms. Young, your response.
Your Honor, this is, first of all, not really appropriate for cross of this district witness who would not have knowledge of any of these things. This appears to be Mrs. Herring's case in chief, and it is all hearsay. So I don't know that this is an appropriate way to get the information in, and I object to its admission, especially through this witness.
Well, it does appear to be hearsay, Ms. Herring, since all these people are not here today to testify. Ms. Young cannot cross-examine any of these people. These people were not school district employees, as far as I understand. So this is all hearsay. It hasn't been moved yet into admission, so I can't roll any further than that at this time, Ms. Young.
Your Honor, if I may, if you could take a brief recess to public meters and so on. Parking meters and
Well, I guess it's a good time to break from it. How much time do we want off the record? We don't have to talk about lunch on the record. 45 minutes, there's a snack bar across the street, I don't know if there's one of those buildings. There's a snack bar here. Is 45 minutes enough time?
yes.
I just extended my parking by 90 minutes.
Okay.
It's fine, I'm going to go out Harrisburg, I'll take your word for it.
All right, then 20 after 1, we'll come back. 1:20.